Welcome to Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Joyous conversations about what the afterlife evidence and modern science combine to tell us is true about our one reality. You have nothing to fear. You are eternal and you are perfectly loved. Knowing the truth changes everything. Now, here's Roberta.
Welcome to Seek Reality. I'm Roberta Grimes, and I'm so delighted you're with us today. Our guest today is someone that a number of you really enjoyed when we first met him, so he is back with us again for the second time. Dr. Noah St. John is kind of a force of nature sort of life coach to the stars kind of guy, someone who is a bit overwhelming to listen to, I have to say, but also for me at least. And based on your reactions for the first time we had him here, a lot of people as well found him pretty transformative. He opens his career, he spent his career so far helping people to make the best of their living and working and financial and spiritual lives, which is kind of a good package. And sometimes that's just what people need. A lot of people anyway, they kind of get stuck in a rut, and they need something that will lift them out of their rut and make a transformative difference. We want to do and have and be more, and not so much for ourselves even sometimes, but for others, for our families, and for the world, and for God, really. We just don't even know how to begin. Or even when we have responsibilities and roles and lives, we don't know how to prioritize it. And whether we even have the right to try to begin when we have so many responsibilities and things that kind of are calling to us. And so Dr. Noah St. John may be just what you need to help you get started. He is what we learned last time. He's the father of affirmation. So there's a word for you. And he is what he calls the mental health coach to the stars. His first visit with us was to discuss his book, which is called The 7-Figure Life, How to Leverage the 4 Focus Factors for More Wealth and Happiness. And that's hard to say fast. So that book was really about achieving more balance in your life between work and spiritual matters. And it's time for all of us really to learn how to better do that, don't you think? We loved that book. And now Noah has a new book out. It's called The 7-Figure Machine, How Your Ultimate Roadmap to Endless Earnings and Financial Freedom Happens. So we've actually, they called us and they said, you want him back? We said, yeah, it was good the first time. So let's try it again. Noah, welcome. I'm really glad to have you back with us.
It's great to be back, Roberta. It was so much fun the first time. Glad to be back again.
Yeah, we had a good time. We really did. Now, we very seldom make money a focus on Seek Reality, but once in a while, when people make it a spiritual thing too, when people have, and many people do actually make spiritual reasons of focus for their desire to make more money. When that happens, I'm game to talk about it. So working with Hollywood celebrities, maybe not so much. Professional athletes, CEOs, although I've spent my career working with CEOs, and most of the ones I've known have been the salt of the earth. So I'm okay with that too. Mm-hmm. Noah, talk with us about this. How do you make that balance happen for you?
Well, Roberta, I've been doing this for almost 30 years now, helping my clients, yes, make a lot of money, but more importantly, win their lives back. And as you talked about in your introduction, it really is about where money and meaning meet. Right? How's that for a nice alliteration there? And that's
great.
You know, I grew up poor in a rich neighborhood, so I know what it's like to not have any money. And a lot of people believe that, well, it's more spiritual to not have money. And I'm like, what planet are you on? Are you kidding me right now? No. What money does is it gives you choices. The person who has no money has really very few or no choices. And that was me, growing up. We didn't have any money, so we didn't have any choices. In fact, the house that I grew up in, the bank foreclosed on that house when I was 15 years old. So they threw us out and we were on the street. We had to find a place to live. So there was nothing fun about that. There's nothing spiritual about that. So, really, I spent my life and my career helping people, first helping myself to like, how the heck do you do this, right? How do you go from being poor to being, wealthy, well off, whatever word you want. And then, of course, now helping others to do that, whether they're just starting out in business or whether they want a promotion in their careers, whether they want to make a bigger impact. I mean, that's the kind of people that I help, that I coach, in my group coaching, in my one-on-one coaching, so that's what I do, and written 25 books on the subject now. And yes, you're right. My new book.
A lot of books.
Well, whatever. I really wrote them for myself first, because I read every book out there and they didn't answer the question. How the heck do I get from here to there? And nobody told me. Nobody, even after all that, all those insane years and thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars that I spent, they didn't answer the question. So I had to write it myself. So that's what my books really are about. And that's who they're for. They're for the people that want to have, yes, more money, but also more meaning in their lives.
Well, go to it. I mean, I think everybody.
Well, and actually, I love that you mentioned that, because this is actually the series now. So we talked about this one last time, the Seven-Figure Life, right here, how to leverage the 4 focus factors for more wealth and happiness. Absolutely. That one came out first. And now we have the companion book, so you can see how they kind of go together there. The Seven-Figure Machine, which is your ultimate roadmap to endless earnings and financial freedom. So why do I call it the Seven-Figure Machine? Well, it's very simple. In a traditional job, what do we do? Well, a traditional job is you put in X amount of time and you get Y amount of money, right? So you're trading your time for money. Nothing wrong with that, right? It's been going on for centuries, right?
That's the magic trade. Everybody does it.
It is, but it kind of sucks because there's always a ceiling, right? By definition, there's only one you, right? So you do need to eat, you need to sleep. Probably would be nice to spend time with your family and friends, right? It would be nice to not be working 24/7, 365, right? Because at the end of the day, we cannot do that, right? We're not machines. But what I show you in my book is that you can build a machine that does the work for you. So what that enables you to do, and empowers you to do, is separate time and money. Right? In other words, it allows you to sever the connection between time and money, because in a traditional job, if you don't work the hours, guess what? You ain't going to get the money, right? They don't pay you for not showing up in a traditional job. They don't do that.
I mean, that's true.
Typically, right? So, but now with my Seven-Figure Machine formula, you can now with a machine. If you think about what is a machine, what does that mean? Well, a machine is a connected series of systems that produces a result. So a great example is your car is a machine, right? It's a machine that enables you to get from point A to point B without you having to walk, right? So that's a really handy machine. A computer is a machine, right? You type things in there and something comes out and there you go. You can do a billion, gajillion things with your computer, right? So these are types of machines. Now, I don't know how a car works. I don't know how a computer works, but I know how a 7-figure machine works, right? Because I've helped lots and lots of people build their 7-figure machine. And the reason we call it that is very simple. That is the number one goal of most entrepreneurs. Most entrepreneurs, when you start a business, of course, first you want to get started, but then you want to hit 6 figures. And then ideally would be great to hit that 7-figure mark because that means you're bringing in a nice 100K a month, and that is really awesome. Now, I'm not suggesting that if you're making less than that, you're doing something wrong. However, you might want to look at it and say, aha, well, maybe I could just tweak a few little things here, tweak a few things there, and then able to really get those, what I like to call hockey stick growth. We love to get that for our clients, meaning you're going along like this, and maybe you're hitting that income ceiling, and maybe that income ceiling is $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, whatever it might be. Again, nothing wrong with that. But if you do want to scale up, you probably want to put some of the elements of my 7-figure machine in place for your business.
Okay. Well, I'm all ears here. Let's.
You want to keep going?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So in the book, I'm just going to show you, by the way, I am going to show you how you can actually not only get this book, but over $700 of free bonus gifts. And I'll just give you the domain right now. The page is 7figuremachinebook.com. Easy to remember, right? All my domains are easy to remember. 7figuremachinebook.com. And when you get the book,
all of this, everyone is going to be in the materials associated with this broadcast so that you will not have to drive off the road writing it down.
Right, exactly. So anyway, and the reason that I'm mentioning that is I just added my brand new online course called the 7-Figure Fast Track. And when you get the book at sevenfiguremachinebook.com, you also get that free online course, which is a $700 value. So it's really great. Anyway, so in the book, I walk you through my 7-figure machine formula, and we start with 7-figure offer secrets. Now, why is that so important? And why do we start?
Ask the question: Are you married? And does your wife get tired sometimes and say, "I have to go out and take a quiet walk because you're sort of making me do this"?
Yes, I am married. Yes. And believe it or not, I know we only have a short amount of time, Roberta. So I get a little hyped up. I can slow down if you want. I can talk slower.
I think it's delightful.
I know we only have so much time. Time is money, right? So I'm like, come on, let's go, baby.
No, go ahead. I just think you're delightful. I really do.
Thank you very much. Anyway, so we start with your 7-figure offer, my 7-figure offer secrets. Now, why is that so important? And what I show you in the book is that every successful business starts with one successful offer. Let me give you an example. I've coached a lot of people over the years, and many people have contacted me on my website or social media, and they'll say, "Hey, Noah, I love what you teach. I love the results you're getting for people." And what happened for me is they'll say to me, I gave all this money to this Facebook guru or this marketing guru, and he told me to do Facebook ads. And I spent all this money and I lost a ton of money. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. I hear that all the time. It's very common, right? And then I'll ask them, I'll say, so I'm just curious, when you did those Facebook ads, what were you actually sending people to? And they say, well, my website. I say, okay, that's good. But what is your offer? And they go, well, I don't really have an offer yet. And then I go like this. I go face palm, right? It's like, come on. See, the whole point of that is if you're in that kind of a scenario, all you can do is lose money, right? That's what the gurus won't tell you, because there's an old saying that says, to he who is good with a hammer, all the world is a nail. So, right. So maybe they made tons of money using Facebook ads. I'm not even putting down Facebook ads. There's nothing wrong with them. But if you don't have all these things in place first, this is the definition of the cart before the horse, right? Yeah. You did it in the wrong order, and this is what they never tell you, right? They'll just say, well, hey, if you got to spend all this money, and it's like, well, that worked for you, buddy, but, I got to get all this stuff in place first, right? But they never tell you that. So that's why, people say to me that they love my books, they love my coaching, because I'm very sequential. I'm basically the nerdiest nerd in this industry, Roberta. I'm the Sheldon Cooper of self-help, and because I have to do everything in order, because that's what I spent over $500,000 going to these clowns, and they never told me this stuff. I'm like, thanks a lot, guys. It would have been nice to know this 25 years ago. I would be a gazillionaire by now if I would have had this book 25 years ago. Gazillionaire. I'm doing okay, don't get me wrong, but man, it would have been nice to know this a long time ago.
Yes. Yeah. It's good if you know the whole.
Right. In order.
In order. Right.
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 Exactly. Well, anyway, so that, do you want me to keep going or I can stop?
Please. No, please. I'm enthralled.
Okay, great. All right. Well, so anyway, so that's why I show you exactly how to get your offers in place. And real quick, I can actually give you a very quick example. There are 3 main types of offers that you want to focus on in your business for everyone listening. So those are done for you, done with you, and do it yourself. Okay, so done
for you, done with you, and do it yourself. Okay.
Right. And the reason I'm going dip like this with my hand is because typically done for you is the most expensive. And why? Because you're doing it for the client, right? So the client wants a result. They want more traffic. For example, in my company, we have a book done for you service, right? I've written 25 books. So people always are asking me, hey, Noah, can you help me write my book? And so many people kept asking me, I'm like, gee, maybe I should have an offer. You know what I mean? Because I kept getting asked about that. So that's a clue for all of you listening, right? When people are always asking you stuff, that's your offer, right? Or that can be an offer. And so I created this book done for you service. And as an example, one of my clients is a stem cell doctor in Nashville. And he told me when we spoke, he contacted me on my website. He said, I've been thinking about writing this book for 10 years, but he hadn't started. He says, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do this. We got it done for him in 8 weeks. 8 weeks. Think about that. From 10 years of nothing to 8 weeks and you're done, right? That's the power of done for you. All right. So that's an example. And then the done with you are things like one-on-one coaching or group coaching, which we have. Again, you can look on our website and check that out. And then, of course, do it yourself are things like books and online courses. So the point is that if you can, you want to have all three levels of that type of offers in your business. And why? Because that way you're serving different kinds of people who are at different stages in their own journey.
You wrote a stem cell book in 8 weeks? Is that what you just said?
Well, it wasn't just about stem cell. He's a stem cell doctor, but it was about health and wellness, right? So I did a lot of research and, my team and I, I have a whole team in the Philippines and, we just did it. I mean, I've got a system for everything, Roberta, right? Including writing books. So why wouldn't I do that? I'm certainly not going to take a year to do it when I can get it done very, very fast. I mean, that's why I was able to write 25 books.
Good for you.
System.
Yeah. Every book starts with one word. So you just.
That's right. That's right. But most people don't know what that is or what the system is to write a book. And like I said, I kept getting asked these questions over and over and over again. And that's a clue for all of you listening, right? The questions that you keep getting asked over and over. Gee, maybe there's your offer, right? So I help people who really are just getting started or they're not really clear on their offer to really get clarity on that offer. That's one of the things I teach you in the book and in my online course. And of course, in my coaching as well. But I mean, that's really powerful because if you don't have the right offer, how are you going to make more money? I don't see how it's possible.
Boy, those people who foreclosed on that house when you were a kid did not know what they were doing.
They created a monster. They sure did. I was like,
that's for sure.
Yes, with a vengeance.
Okay, keep going,
Keep going? All right, I'll keep going. Until you tell me to stop, I'll keep going. All right, what do we have next? Let's see. Next is, my 7-figure product secrets. Okay, so we start with your offers. And, I told you about the 3 types of offers. Then we got to create products, right? Because if you don't have a product, you're selling your brain, right? Nothing wrong with that, but you only have one brain.
Get it out into the world and take a look at it and see what you got and how you're going to make it worth selling.
That's right. Right. So I will walk you through different. Why would
somebody want to buy it? Right.
Right. I'll walk you through different types of products. One, of course, is books. I think every person listening to this program should have a book, right? Because if you think about it, let's say you're a real estate professional.
Let's say that again. Every person listening should have a book.
Yes.
Wow.
I believe that. I really strongly believe that. And here's why. Very simple. Let's say you're a real estate.
Book in every one of you.
I believe that. I do believe that. Let's say you're a real estate professional, a real estate agent, and you have real estate agent A and real estate agent B. And real estate agent A has written a book. Real estate agent B has not written a book. All other things being equal, who do you think most people are going to hire as their real estate agent? The person with a book, right? Same with a chiropractor. Same with a real.
If it's an awful book.
Well, then don't write an awful book. Hire someone to help you. I wonder who you could get.
Don't write an awful book.
Don't write an awful book.
With wisdom. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Hire someone to help you. I don't know who that could be. I have no idea who you should hire. I don't know.
Write the book.
Who that could be, I have no idea.
Roger. Right. Okay.
Are we getting the message? Hello, this is really subtle. Real subtle.
I love it.
I'm glad you get me, Roberta, because, man, some people don't get this. They're like, what is this guy? What? I know. Hey, I'm an acquired taste for something.
Not that much harder either to write a good book than it is to write.
Well, writing is a skill. Let's just put it that way, which, fortunately I have.
You're talking to another author.
I know that.
I don't think it's that much harder to write a good book. It really isn't.
It's easy to write a lousy book. You're absolutely right. That's pretty easy. Yeah.
And if you take that lousy book that you just wrote and you say, hey, wait a minute, I bet I can do this better. It's not that much harder to make it good.
Not really, no. Not really. But
I mean, I get it. I get you. I see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like you need a system to do a good book. At least one.
You have to be sincere and honest and care about your reader.
That's right.
That's it. To me, that's most of writing a book. You have to be honest with yourself about what it is you're doing, and you have to care about who's reading it.
Well, and the other thing is people don't care about you. All right. They don't care about me. They don't care about anybody but themselves. Right.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people come to me and they say, hey, I got a great idea for a book. And I already know what the next sentence is. It's about my life story.
Yeah.
And I will say, I hate to burst your bubble, but nobody cares about your life story. They don't care. None of my books are about my life story because nobody cares.
That's right.
What do they care about? Themselves.
Right. They care about their life story.
My books are about getting you a result. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's right. No, I absolutely get it. I totally get it. But from your life story, you learn things that can be useful in their life story.
That's right. So you use examples, right? But none of my books are my memoir because who cares? Nobody, right? My mom and dad, that's pretty much it. And even they probably wouldn't buy it, So, but what I do is I say, here's what to do. A. B, here's an example of how I did it. And what's great is you can even say how you did it wrong, right? And of course, you want to do it right.
Better, actually. But, if you say, here's how I screwed up.
Right. I made this mistake. So now you don't make the same mistake, right? There's an old saying, a smart person learns from their own mistakes. A wise person learns from others' mistakes. So that's really what my books are.
That's another good one. Yeah, you're full of these good
I've got a million of them, Roberta.
Right.
I should write a book someday. Oh, wait, I wrote 25. What do you know?
You've done it already. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, all right. So how are we going to find our product? We were starting to find our product here. Yeah. I got really interested in that.
Well, going back to my point of everything starts with your offer, then we break it down into product because some people, gurus out there combine an offer with a product. That is not true because one offer could be many products. Right. So, for example, I have this book called The 7-Figure Machine. Well, guess what? Yeah. I also have an online course called The 7-Figure Machine. So that has videos, that has audios, that has interviews, that has coaching calls. So, a book is about what? $20. Well, my online course for that sells for $2,000. Then I also have coaching with that. That sells for $10,000. Do you see what I mean? So that's one offer, but many products. So that the offer and product are related, but they're not the same.
Absolutely. Because everybody learns differently. Everybody thinks differently.
That's
right. Everybody will get it in a different way.
Right. Now, I will tell you, and this is a true story. I had one client who called me. He contacted me on my website, and he told me this story. He said, Noah, I was in Barnes & Noble, and I walked by your book 3 times. I walked by it, and something called to me with your book, and I finally had to buy it. He bought it. He read half of my book, contacted me on my website, and then after one phone call, paid me $100,000 to coach him for a year. And I ended up making him $1.8 million in that year. So that is a book that made me $100,000 and made him $1.8 million. You're welcome. All right. So that's an example.
What a story that is.
True story.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's how powerful this is.
In the book, he only read half of it.
And you only read half of it. It must be good. Must be good.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the point there is really well taken. Everybody learns differently and thinks differently and has different needs.
That's right.
So you had to take your idea, which was that book, and approach it in all these different ways.
That's right.
In order to make different products and different approaches for different people, in order to make it work into a true machine that worked for everybody.
That's right. And because, as you said, people are at different levels in their business. So, I mean, look, I remember when I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. So I just went to the library and I read books because I couldn't even afford to buy a book, So, hey, if that's where you're at, go to the library, get a book, just read them. All right. Study them. And then, as I started to make some money, then of course I would buy online courses and I'd hire coaches and things like that. So people are at different levels depending on where they're at. somebody who pays me $100,000 who invests that 100K for me to coach them for a year, obviously they're, probably making about $500,000 or more, right? Because that means they can afford that investment. So you're always balancing time versus money. If you have more time than money, then maybe you want to start with a book or an online course. If you what happens is a lot of people have more money than time, meaning they're like, I'm making all this money, but now I don't even have the time. And that's when they want to, they hire me as a coach, and then I can help them, yes, make more money, but more importantly, actually win their lives back.
Which is, for many people now at this point, even more important than money.
That's right.
Money.
That's right. Well, that client, just to finish the story, put a bow on that story, that client actually sent me an email and he said, Noah, guess where I am? I'm on a 7-week vacation with my wife. We just bought a new RV. He said, this is a dream I've had for years, to buy a new RV and travel the country with my wife, but I never had the time and I didn't have the money. So now with all this money we've got now, thanks to your coaching, right? I bought this new RV and now I have more time than ever before. So he literally said, thank you, Noah, for changing my life. So that's how powerful this can be once you put these things in place.
Well, do people take it seriously in the beginning? Or do you meet a lot of skeptics who, when they...
Everybody's skeptical now because my good friend, Gary Vaynerchuk, as he says, marketers ruin everything, right? Marketers ruin everything, right? I'll give you a perfect example. Email, right? I remember getting my first email address back in 1995, right? Probably a lot of folks listening have been online, maybe not as long as me, but, back in the day, right? And remember back in the day, we were excited to get an email from somebody? How do you feel about email nowadays? Probably not that anymore, right?
I spend
nobody feels that way anymore. Oh, I can't wait to get an email.
Yeah.
No, we get 10 million tons of junk, everybody, right? Because marketers ruin everything. And so marketers ruin Facebook, marketers ruin TikTok, marketers ruin everything. And so the point is that's why everybody is skeptical right now, because everybody has been burned by these gurus, probably not to the extent that I have, paying them $500,000. Probably most people haven't paid that much money to these clowns, but nevertheless, there you are. So trust is at the lowest point, and frankly, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse over time. It's not getting better, right? Because you just got so many lying scumbags out there. That's the way it goes. So yeah, you got to do your homework. Now, what does that mean, do your homework? Well, when you go to my website, for example, if you go to coachingwithnoah.com, very easy to remember, coachingwithnoah.com, you will see over 250 5-star reviews from my clients. Now, why is that important? Because when you look at these gurus, their main, if not only success story is themselves, right? Hey, man, I made all this money. Look how cool I am. And you're like, yeah, that's great. That's great, buddy. Have you helped anyone else make money? Right? That's the question we should be asking that we usually don't. We don't usually ask, because those guys, what they do is they use these very seductive images, right? Here's my helicopter. Here's my yacht. Here's my jet. Nothing wrong with those things. We all want nice things, right? We all want nice cars, nice homes. Nothing wrong with it. But the problem is that if that's all that there is, that means there's no there. Right. And that's what I found out after paying these clowns $500,000. There's no there. Right. And so what I realize is I would rather brag about my clients than me. That's how people know. That's how you know that it is a system that doesn't just work for one person, but it works for everyone as long as you take the action, as long as you follow the formula. If you can fill in the blanks, if you can literally, it's like Mad Libs, right? You just fill in the blanks and then boom, you get the result. That's why, one of the things that makes me different, because I don't care about me. I care about the results that the system gets. Yes, for me, I'm included in that, but really it's more about all of us. It's about my clients and the results that they get from following my system.
Well, clearly it works, because I did go to your websites and I did see all those reviews.
Yeah.
Not before I interviewed you the first time, but I did after. When I got the email for this book, I said, I enjoyed him the first time. I just think I'll see what happened from all the first book and all the results he may have gotten. And yeah, there was a lot of there. So,
well,
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's so funny because my colleagues, some of them make fun of me. Hey, Noah, you got enough case studies? And I always go, no. There's never enough case studies. Why? Because of what I just said. Trust is so low. If I say I'm great, nobody believes me. I mean, why should they, right? Everybody says they're great. Everybody says that. But wait a minute.
That impressed me.
150 people that say Noah got me this. There might be something there. And as you said, there's a lot of there.
Well, I thought you were fun to talk with, but I wanted to see whether, you actually got people some results. And, it looked as if you had done pretty well for people.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good.
But what happens when it doesn't work? And probably it doesn't work sometimes because you have to be working with a certain kind of person.
Yes, correct.
People who have to want it, it seems to me. If people are going to work with you. Well,
you're absolutely right. And I look for one quality above all others when I'm coaching people, whether it's one-on-one or group coaching. And of course, we have both. We have one-on-one for people that really want to go fast. And we have group coaching that, it's less expensive. It's more affordable, but it doesn't go quite as fast because it's in a group, but they're both perfectly valid. They both work great. And that is, are they coachable? Are they coachable? That means if I tell you to do something and you're always arguing with me because you know better, then hello, why are you here? I guess you know everything, right?
Yeah, right.
And I actually had to fire one client last year. And it was so funny because there were so many red flags, but me, I got a bleeding heart, I'm like, oh, I know I can help this person because I can help anybody, right? And the answer is no, I actually can't help everybody because some people don't want to be helped. And, it's like, and I'm like, but this is the thing. This is the very thing that I fix is your exact problem. Right. But no, he didn't want to hear it. He flattened me at every turn. And finally said, you know what? I'm just going to give you your money back because this is not working out. So I just gave him all his money back and took him off my list. I'm like, I don't need this. Right. I don't need this. So, that's the only reason that it really wouldn't work. If the person knows it all. And guess what? If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting the same results. So if you're happy with the results, then don't change.
What you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
So if you're happy with your results, then don't change. Then don't talk to me. You're fine. We're good. But if you want something different, then you might want to listen to the guy that's helped people make $3 billion. You think?
Yeah, but is that the only reason that people don't get results with you? Because they just don't want to listen. They don't want to change.
Well, there's the second part is they don't take action. But if you're coachable, there's no way you're going to not take action, right? Because what we just talked about, Roberta, is if they were happy with their results, then they wouldn't change, right? So even, Charles, that client I told you about who he invested $100K, I made him 1.8 million. He was an action taker, right? He took action. I mean, with one phone call, he decided to make that investment, right? I didn't have to, follow up with them. I mean, literally that's why I love working with high achievers because they make decisions quickly and firmly and they're action takers. So when you're an action taker, if you just follow the steps, you're going to get a result. It's impossible. It's like saying, I'm giving you the blueprint for a house. All you have to do is follow the blueprint. If you don't build your house, then guess what? You won't have a house.
You won't have a house.
But if you follow it, you can't have a house. I mean, it's A equals B. So let's go. It's pretty simple.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I think this is really wonderful. And I mean, I could see why it would work. Because my career has been about helping business owners. Mm-hmm. And after I've learned that something works dependably in a certain kind of business, and I say it to a new person, and I say, hey, this is what will work. If they follow, I know if they do it, then they will. Right. I've had to fire a few clients, but relatively few, because,
exactly. Mm-hmm.
If they've decided that they're going to do it, then if I say do it and they don't do it, I usually don't give them their money back. If I have been here and told them to do it and they haven't done it, well, that's their fault, right, not mine, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. So it's really only happened that one time. So it's very, very rare, shall we say, very rare. But yeah, I mean, like I got an email from one of my clients. It was in a program we have called the 12-week breakthrough, where I help people make more in 12 weeks than in the previous 12 months. She sent me an email in week 5. And she said, Noah, I just wanted to let you know that I raised $185,000 in one day, thanks to what you taught me. And the best part of her email was she said, because you believed in me, now I believe in me. And that is what changed everything for me. I love that.
Wonderful.
Yes.
It takes someone to believe in a person.
That's right.
Change that person's world. And
Exactly.
so that's the best compliment any coach can ever get.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. And that made your week.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, and you can see her video and hundreds of others right there on coachingwithnoah.com. It's right there. Again, the proof is in the results. That's how we know. That's how you know it's a system. It's not about my personality, right? There's a lot of big personalities out there. I'm just the guy teaching this stuff, and it happens to work incredibly well, when you follow the formula. But that's the beauty of it. It is a system. It is a formula. And when you just fill in the blanks, I mean, there's your house. You want it?
I have to tell you too something, Noah. I think that people who start out poor and have to make their way and succeed on their own and then teach that, I think those are the ones who make the great coaches. I think if you start out rich, I don't think you can do it. I really don't.
I tend to agree with you, because if you've always had it, how can you know what it's like to not have it?
Yeah.
So
and
yeah.
I don't think you can. I've had a number of very successful we've done this for 15 years now. Mm-hmm. I think I've had a number of really good, maybe not as good as you, my dear, but good coaches, and they have been successful. I don't think any one of them has started out anything other than dirt poor. And I think that's the magical secret to becoming a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
You had to learn how to do it yourself first.
Yes. I really wish someone would have helped me a long time ago, and they didn't. And, that's really what all my books are about. I wish I would have had this. Here you go. Here's what it took me 30 years to learn. So I'm saving you, all the pain, torment, and agony that I had to go through.
Oh, yes. That's a magical, magical gift you have. But it was hard earned, and really now it's a gift that you can give to people. There's no paying for that. I mean, it's
priceless.
That's the word I was groping for. It really is priceless.
I read your mind.
What a wonderful thing.
Yes, indeed.
We're coming toward the end of our time together, believe it or not. What do you want people to take from the fact that they've met you now? What do you want to make people understand about all of this? Because it's really not about money. It's about changing one's attitude toward really everything in life. It's about learning about living life in a deeper way.
I just use the word impact, right? Steve Jobs talked about putting a dent in the universe. Right. And he, of course, did that. I put a very tiny little dent compared to Steve Jobs, but, that is my job. That's what gets me up in the morning, is to put that dent in the universe. And what I mean by that is having impact, making a difference in people's lives. That's why I started, my company 30 years ago in a 300 square foot basement apartment with $800 and a book on HTML. I had nothing. I had no business experience, no marketing, no sales. The only funnels we had were funnel cake. So, there was nothing. So anyway, my point is, and you asked, what is the message I'd like to leave it? It's that, if someone like me can do it, who started with nothing, can do this and, create this nice life and, have a beautiful wife, have a nice house and things like that, and all those nice things. Anybody can do it, but you do have to take the action. You do have to follow the formula. You have to follow the steps. What I've done is I've done exactly what I just said, which is I've given you what I wish someone would have given me 30 years ago. I'd be a gazillionaire by now if I would have had this a long time ago, but my pain is your gain. And so that's really what I hope my legacy is helping people to accelerate their results and really compress time so that they can get their results 10 times faster and much, much easier than they otherwise would have.
Oh, that's beautifully said. Oh, my dear, I'm enjoying talking to you the second time even more than the first time. So
Let's make it a habit.
yes, we'll have to do this again.
Let's do it.
Well, consider yourself hugged. I really have
Aw,
enjoyed talking with you. With
thank you.
you. Everyone, as you know, this has been Roberta Grimes. I'm so much enjoyed talking with what I now think of as my dear friend, Noah St. John. This has been, as you know, Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. I'm so happy you were with us today. These have been pearls of wisdom, and I say that largely because what he has learned in his work with people, I've learned a lot of the same things, and these are things that's hard to learn. You have to really sort of teach them to yourself as you go along. It's not easy, but it's quite joyous all the same. Please never forget that you are a powerful, eternal being. You never began. You never will end. And when you get all the implications of that fact, it's going to change everything in your life for the better. Next week, our guest was going to be somebody else that I sort of felt I discovered, and I've watched him fly. Mark Gober will be with us for the 10th time. Wow. I can remember first discovering Mark when he was this young, preppy tennis player. He had gone to all the best schools. He'd done all the right things. He was going to be a big success. But then he discovered that consciousness is the foundation of everything. And that fact, that single incontrovertible fact, led Mark to do all this amazing research that has completely blown up his life and a lot of our lives too, of course. In fact, at this point, Mark has largely run out of earth-based realities to blow up with his amazing research results. Mark's new book is called An End to the Upside Down Cosmos. Oh, please be sure to join us next week because Mark is going to do it again to us. And this week, our guest has been Noah St. John, who has been with us for the second time, but not the last. Noah is an extremely powerful and amazing life coach who, as you heard, started out dirt poor, as all the best do, I have to tell you. He's written a new book called The Seven-Figure Machine, Your Ultimate Roadmap to Endless Earnings and Financial Freedom. And I believe in it because I've been to his website. All the material that you need to go there and learn about him is going to be with the materials that come with this episode. The goal really with all that Noah does is to change your beliefs about yourself by focusing on what is good and right about you even now, and instead throwing away everything that's wrong about you so you can empower yourself to be all that you can be. His website, his basic website is noahstjohn.com, but he's got, like a lot of people like him, he's got a lot of other little websites that you can go to. And he calls himself the mental health coach to the stars, but I think what he really does is create the stars. And if you want to go there, then you just start there and you scroll down and it makes you want to jump right up and start succeeding. And that's the kind of person you want to work with. Noah's wonderfully positive energy, as you can hear, really is contagious. And as you know, our great friend Craig Hogan is the president, and he's the guru of Seek Reality Online. Now, people tell me they don't intend to die, and if they die, they want to just disappear. Well, you don't have a choice in either of those things. You're going to die, and your life really is eternal. So go to seekreality.com and start to learn for yourself that your own eternal reality, no choice in the matter, is going to be wonderful. Learn about it now, and then you can start enjoying it from day one of your forever. And of course, teachingsbyjesus.com is your best resource for all the beautiful divine truths that are brought to us in perfect love by the greatest teacher of them all, Master Jesus. Master Jesus had nothing to do with creating the religion that bears his name. That was all about the Roman Emperor Constantine and not by Jesus. The religion is dying now, so you finally can learn what Jesus actually taught. And at last, truly, Jesus' teachings and Jesus, the true Jesus, can come alive for us all. As you know, I have some nonfiction books, and they're on my website, and But unfortunately, there's no time to talk about any of them because I just was so entranced by my wonderful friend Noah. So you can learn about and you can talk about my books if you'd like. If you want to, call me, you can call me, you can talk to me, you can send me emails. Just go to the green contact block on robertagrimes.com. If you want to email me, please be sure to send me your correct email address, because otherwise I'll send you an email, but it will bounce and that will make me sad. Don't make me sad. Please send me your correct email address. And all of the more than 550 past episodes of Seek Reality are available wherever audio podcasts can be found. Or you can see the new charming, as you can see, because I have such wonderful guests and beautiful guests. The video episodes are available on Roku, Fire Stick, YouTube, and elsewhere. Meanwhile, this has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Please enjoy and make the most of this coming week in our one reality, always knowing that you, in the entire universe, are the most beloved and most cherished of all beings, and you are infinitely, eternally, and perfectly loved.
You've been listening to Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Roberta blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Join us every week as we explore what the afterlife evidence and modern science combine to tell us is true about the one reality we all share. Knowing the truth changes everything.